Ladies and gentlemen, it's our privilege to introduce a distinguished guest who embodies the intersection of innovation, education, and healthcare excellence. Please join us in welcoming, like our guest, my very good friend, Dr. William Soliman. Welcome, sir.
Thank you very much. Thanks for having me. Thank
Yes,
you.
sir. Yes, sir. Thank you. I'm so happy for you to, to be able to join us today. You are the visionary founder and CEO of the renowned ACMA, which is Academy of Clinical and Medical Affairs. Can you talk a little bit about yourself? Because sometimes I notice that it's better for somebody that I have on to maybe talk a little bit about like themselves than me trying to read long story about themselves.
Yeah, sure. That makes sense. So, yeah, I mean, like you mentioned, my name is William Solomon. I'm the founder and the CEO of the ACMA, the Accreditation Council for Medical Affairs. We are an organization that helps to support the pharmaceutical industry, the life sciences industry. We support them really in two ways. We are the first organization, the first accrediting body in the industry. So we certify professionals that work in pharma, like the people who work in medical affairs, medical science liaisons, people that work in market access and field reimbursement. We actually have the number one program for field reimbursement and market access professionals called the Prior Authorization Certified Specialist Program, or the PACS program. And we also provide digital capabilities. So just this year, we launched our AI platform. So we have a suite of digital solutions that we offer as well to the industry for various functions. So very excited to be here. I'm a veteran of the pharmaceutical industry. I worked in pharma for over 20 years before becoming an entrepreneur. And by training, I'm a PhD. Excited to be here and talk to you.
Oh, thank you, sir. We are really honored to have you on, sir. And I think one of our discussions was about your dad, and I wanted that to be the focus today. So we will
Sure.
start about your dad today, sir. So it's been really what inspired him at this or what motivated him to start his project, the Delta Limousine Services.
So my dad's always been an entrepreneurial guy. That's kind of where I get the entrepreneurial spirit from. My father, my uncle, they've always been people that are kind of self-made. My dad came to this country with nothing from Egypt originally, over now 50 years ago. And he's always been a go-getter, and has always been somebody that likes to be productive and feel like he's bringing value to society. So, one of the things that had happened a few years ago was my mom passed away.
Sorry.
God rest her soul. And my
Yes, sir.
mom had passed away. She was young. She was 64. And it was kind of sudden. It was within 6 months she passed away. And I think for my dad, it was a really big adjustment. I think they had been married for, 45 years at the time. And it become, it's your life partner. And
Right.
losing that person really, I think, impacted him and affected him a lot and made him reevaluate a lot of things in his life. And he decided, recently that he wants to kind of take the next step and do something new in his life. He loves talking to people and doing things with people. He'd always had businesses and real estate, and that's what he'd had for a long time, different types of businesses. He sold all that and kind of retired, really. And then he kind of began this business where he was able to get a few big corporate clients, and now he has a few drivers, and he's kind of built built the company up. So I'm proud of him that he was able to do that. But he's always been somebody that likes to develop and build things up, and I think that's part of being a good entrepreneur. So that's definitely something I admire in him.
Oh, that's amazing. And normally, starting any project or business is challenging. So at any age. So what kind of support has he seek during like towards this project?
Well, he's definitely calling me, my sister, my
Hmm.
younger sister. I'm the
Right.
oldest of three, and
Okay.
my wife sometimes he'll call for help. But he's figured it out. He's been able to adapt to the technology.
Hmm.
He in his former businesses, he didn't really have a need for relying
Hmm.
too much on advanced, technology, the internet and stuff like that. This is back in the early 2000s. And but now, obviously it's everywhere. You can't get away from it. So
Right.
he's figured it out. He's hired some employees that have helped him on the tech side, and he's doing well.
Oh, that's fantastic. And this company, for instance, what sets them apart from the other companies, in the same field in the metro area so far?
So what was the question?
Like what sets apart this company from the other, from the
Well,
other.
what separates it?
Yeah.
I would say really two things.
Right.
Really excellent customer service.
Hmm.
If you call Delta Limousine, they're going to get back
Right.
to you immediately.
Nice.
So that's number one.
Right.
And I think the second thing is that we're a local company. I mean, he's a local company in the area, in the New York,
Right.
New Jersey area. So they know that area very, very well. So
Nice.
if you're coming in out of state and you need someone to show you different things in the New York area,
Right.
it's a perfect company. It's going to give you that personalized service that I think some of the larger limo companies may not be able to give.
Oh, that's fantastic. Thank you, sir. And I guess his wisdom and his experiences, as mentioned, is something that is probably you know helping him with managing or just operating this business. Like you're noticing most of that right now, correct?
Yeah, I am. Absolutely. You're right.
Awesome, awesome. Thank you, sir. So a lot of times people hesitate to start new, like new challenges later in life. You know, people when they get 40 or 50, 60, they're like, I don't want to start a new project. So his story, I'm sure it motivates folks. Like what do you think about his story, particularly at 73, starting a new project like this?
I listen. It's never too late, right? Like the
Right.
old saying goes. I
Hmm.
think
Hmm.
a lot of times what holds us back as people
Hmm.
is fear, right? We're afraid we're going to fail.
Hmm.
We're afraid that we're not going to be successful.
Right.
And there's, more than anything, I think sometimes it's the fear that we have inside of us and the pressure we put on ourselves.
Right.
And I was telling my son the other day. I was telling him, okay, because he was very worried about, not getting certain grades in school. And I said, let's think about it. Let's say you don't do well on this test. What's the worst that's going to happen? So sometimes in our own mind, we exacerbate the problem, and that holds us back actually from achieving our full potential. And I see that all the time. One of the things that I love doing
Hmm.
at the ACMA, why I love what we do, and I think what we do is so important, is
Right.
we're helping professionals reach their maximum potential.
Right.
You're at education,
Hmm.
certification, training, things like that, tools.
Right. Hmm.
They help you, they enable you to reach that maximal potential that you have. You have this talent, whatever your talent is. We all have different God-given talents.
Right.
But then, you need sometimes that enablement, through different processes, certifications, education, things like that, to achieve that potential. So for me, I think if anyone watching out there is wondering, can I do this? Can I be successful later in life? Can I, is this something that's really realistic? And my answer would be absolutely. You know, if you look at all the successful entrepreneurs out there, oftentimes they failed many times. By training, I'm a biochemist, and I remember when I used to be a professor years ago in college, and I would tell the students the stories, for example, about how the atomic model was
Hmm.
developed, right? The current atomic theory.
Right.
But if you look back, at people like Ernest Rutherford and his atomic model originally, he had to try hundreds and hundreds of times to get it right. J.J. Thomson before him. So
Right.
even in science, there's a lot of trial and error over and over and over and over again. And it's really through failure that you become successful. Before I founded the ACMA, I had another company that we started, and it was tough. As a first company,
Hmm.
and we were successful, but it was a much harder challenge because you're going through a lot of it for the first time. So again, a lot of times that to go back to your original question, I think it's the
Right.
fear.
Right. Oh, I see. Thank you. And I think the way I'm happy that you motivate your son that way, and I'm sure that's going to be his takeaway in many other things in the future. For me, it was uh, for my dad offered me because where I'm from originally in African Tanzania, we have this exam where you have to pass to go to the next level from, let's say, like primary school to secondary school. And if you fail, you go to like private schools. And if you go to private school, sometimes you feel like shy, like you're not successful because you failed the test or something like that. But my dad was telling me, like, listen, I see how hard you're working. No matter what grade you get, I'll always be there for you. So that in itself, it was more like a compassion, like,
Absolutely.
so this is amazing. Um,
Listen, it doesn't matter how old you are, okay?
right.
I'm in my
Hmm.
40s
Right.
and till now, right?
Right.
Everybody can use some encouragement.
Right.
I think one of the people that I follow and I love the work that he does is Dr. Jordan Peterson.
Hmm.
And why has he been so successful? You kind of look at him as a case study. Why is he so successful? I
Right.
think one of the reasons why he's so successful is because he gives people encouragement, right? People read his book.
Right.
I think it's like the 12 Rules for Life, and people
Right.
get encouraged by what he's doing.
Right.
And you'd be surprised how many people, especially a lot of young men, need encouragement. I see that. But young women as well need encouragement and good role models and inspiration. So I think that's very, very important, even as when we're as adults, having
Right.
a father that says, "Hey, you can do this."
Right.
Hey, you can be successful.
Hmm.
The other day, my father sent me a message. It was my birthday, and again, I'm in my 40s, and he said,
Right.
"Happy birthday to my number one man." Right?
Oh, right.
Right. Even in my 40s, he still said to
Right.
me, "You're my number one man," as if I
Right.
was right, a little kid.
Right.
But it still feels good, right, to know that you're loved, you're supported, and we have a saying where I'm from in Egypt,
Hmm.
and to kind of translate it, it's basically saying, when you have your mom or your dad or you have
Hmm.
people that are there with you to encourage you, they kind of they you can lean on them like a wall, like a strong wall, and that gives
Right.
you security. If you ever watch a little kid with their mom and their dad together, that
Hmm.
gives them so much security to have their mom and dad with them, right? So we
Absolutely.
all need that. I think that's something innate to the human being is we need that sense of security, belonging, uh, that encouragement. Everybody needs that in life. That's so, so important. I think nowadays, one of the problems is that people are very caught up in what they're doing on a day-to-day basis, and we sometimes forget to encourage each other. One of the things that I tell my team members at the ACMA, I always talk to them about encourage each other, support each other, give each other the benefit of the doubt. I want to create that culture because it's tough as it is, man. Life is tough, and there's a lot of challenges in life.
Right.
So taking the time to give someone encouragement because you don't know what they're going through. You don't know. You don't know what
Right.
they're dealing with on a day-to-day basis. And I
Absolutely.
just think that's so important. For me, it's one of the values that I think is really key. And it's one of the things that my father instilled in me. So I'm Egyptian. I'm Christian actually by background. I'm an Orthodox Christian, which,
Hmm.
Egypt's only about 10% or 15% Christian. But, for me as a Christian, that's one of the really important values
Hmm.
is encouraging and caring about others,
Hmm.
regardless of what their faith is and whatnot,
Right.
but being there because that I think really is the true spirit of God, right? And we, as
Right.
Christians, believe God is love, and
Right.
being there. And my father instilled that in us. He
Right.
really instilled and those values. They stick with us, and I've actually done that now with my own children. I have 5 children. I have 4 sons and a
Congratulations.
boy and a girl. But I think
Awesome.
that's so important and that's
Yeah.
missing sometimes from today's society.
Oh, thank you. Thank you for sharing that. And so far, this is a great experience. Where like about your dad for the last question. Like about your dad because this is the focus here, fathers. So how has that relationship with you being there for him with his project impacted your relationship with him?
It's brought us closer,
Hmm.
right? Because there's a sense of commonality. I think, growing up, I used to go with my dad to his businesses. He had, different stores and things like that. So I
Hmm.
would go and help him as a teenager.
Right.
But it's different when you're an adult, right? Because when you see your father as an adult,
Hmm.
you it's just a different relationship. It's more as if we're, a friend.
Right.
So, it's definitely brought us closer. Like I said, I definitely admire him for what he's doing and his tenacity because it's not easy,
Right.
but I think it's inspirational, right? For me, it's
Hmm.
a great example of, don't have fear, have courage, and go for it. And I'm a big believer in that. And I learned that from my father is, one of the things I really learned from my father is take risks, do the work, put the work in.
Right.
Okay, put the work in, and that's a very important point.
Mm-hmm.
Take the risk, but put the work in so you're prepared. So when the opportunity arises, there's that match. And that's one of the big lessons I learned from him is that, hard work and good work ethic is key. And it's again, there's a synergistic relationship there. And I
Right.
believe with God and how God opens opportunities for us in our lives. But that's really one of the things that I take from him as my father and that I've
Mm-hmm.
passed on to my children is you need to put the effort in, whether you're in school, whether you're at work. I always
Right.
tell, team members, don't worry about the promotion that might come in a year right now, but do a
Right.
good job right now. Sometimes we're always focused on what's going to happen a year from now, 2 years from now, but
Right.
right now you've got to do a good job. Right
Right.
now you've got to study. Right now you're in that workout. Right now you've got to give your all in the workout. So I
Right.
think being in the present too, in the moment,
Mm-hmm.
is important. That's one of the things my dad is actually very good at is not worrying. My dad does not worry about anything.
That's beautiful.
He's the kind of guy, if you meet him,
Yeah.
he's just not a worrier. He doesn't worry about anything. I've seen him go through a lot of struggles, a lot
Mm-hmm.
of difficult things in life,
Right.
and he doesn't worry. And that's definitely helped me to learn to have faith. If you have faith and you
Mm-hmm.
believe in God, why are you
Right.
worried? You have to be able again to have that faith and believe that God's going to take care of things. So that's
Right.
something that I think helps a lot. And I think that's really important, especially today in a
Mm-hmm.
society that's just anxiety ridden.
Mm-hmm.
People are always anxious and worried, and
Right.
it's like what is worrying going to do? It's not going to add anything to what
Right.
you're trying to accomplish.
Oh man, thank you. And for me, for instance, if I may share, my dad, before he passed, in 2017, I remember before that there was a time I was going through hardship, whatever, with the schooling and all these things, and he was telling me, Suleiman, we have a Muslim background, but like you said, all faith, based, I'm noticing they have an impact with the betterment of their, like of the individuals. So he advised me, faith is believing, like after you have done something, you believe that God is gonna take you to that next step. So I'll write that note, that message from the phone call. I wrote it and then I put it in, like in the mirror,
That's so
like in
nice.
the bathroom. Yes, sir. So that took me from then until today. So every time like you mentioned, like as long as you put on the effort, just have faith, just no
Right.
anxiety, my friend, no worries, relax.
Exactly. If you exactly, yeah, I think your dad is 100% right. If you put the effort in and you've
Right.
given it your best, what I find is the people that are worried, the people that are hiding stuff, the people that don't do well, it's
Hmm.
because they didn't give it their all, and they kind of know that inside, like they feel that inside that they haven't given their best, and so
Right.
it makes them kind of like insecure. And then when you have
Hmm.
that insecurity, that can make you do a lot of things that you don't want to do. You know what I mean? That level of
Right.
insecurity. So
Absolutely.
I just think that's really important. I think again, having a good community of
Hmm.
people to encourage you and things like that is important.
Hmm.
So, but I really appreciate you giving me this opportunity to talk about my father. It definitely means a lot to me. I know
Yes,
it
sir.
means a lot to him.
Yes, sir.
And so I appreciate it.
No, it definitely means a lot to us because I'm sure he inspires many other dads and at like at different levels, whether you're a new dad or like you're already seasoned, like himself. This is beautiful. So, boss, let's talk about you, sir. How this journey from biochemistry to investment banking and finally into pharmaceutical industry. What happened with this journey? What like what inspired that transition?
For me, the biggest thing really was I always loved business. I was always, like I said, into business and entrepreneurship, but I loved
Hmm.
science and education.
Hmm.
So
Right.
for me, the ACMA kind of amalgamates all three of those things together.
Hmm.
And today, especially on the heels of the opioid crisis in
Right.
America, where hundreds of thousands of people have died. And we see, if you watch Netflix, there's a show on now. It's great, with Matthew Broderick, called Painkillers, which it
Right.
talks about the opioid crisis, and it talks about what's happening in the pharma industry and how they work, at least specific to Purdue allegedly. But I lived that life. I worked in
Right.
pharma, and I always felt like we needed to raise the bar when it comes to how we work ethically, but also to make sure that we're effective. And that was really the genesis, honestly, Suleiman, for the ACMA, was that why don't we establish standards of excellence for medical affairs and medical science liaison? That's kind of where the business started. Now, these are, for the audience that doesn't know what those folks are, medical affairs or medical science liaisons are like, if it's not a great analogy, but I'll use it. If you know what a pharma salesperson is, they go talk to a doctor, they try to sell a doctor. Well, medical people are similar, but they don't sell. Okay, they don't sell. They educate, they generate data, and they all have a background in medicine. So they're
Right.
physicians, pharmacists, or like me, PhD professionals.
Right.
And they play such an important role when they go educate doctors. So for me, the ACMA was really about, let's establish a standard. And from there, the company grew into what it is today, which, like I said, we offer many different things for
Right.
the life sciences industry. But that was really the passion from the beginning. It was something that I saw early on, was that we need a standard. And sometimes when I talk to leaders, especially if they've been in the industry for a long time, they say, "Oh, we don't need a standard. Everything's going fine." It's like, really? Everything's not going fine. Look at the opioid crisis. Look at the myriad of lawsuits against pharmaceutical companies for things that have been going on just even recently, with speaker programs on physicians, medical affairs professionals,
Right.
salespeople. So, I mean, I can give a whole litany. So it's
Right.
like, no, we need to have a change. So I definitely think there's still work to be done. But we're seeing a tremendous amount of traction, and a tremendous amount of really rallying around the idea that we need to have standards, especially because there's a social responsibility that corporations have, like the pharmaceutical industry.
Oh, that's fantastic. And I think folks that are probably against that, you can find that also like in medicine as well. You have some folks that think like it became like a business for people to do this certification. So maybe like you can, I like the idea of standardization. I guess you can tackle that with what, maybe like the time frame between the certifications, or how does it work
Yeah,
in
well,
that?
people, depending, we have several different certifications now. I mean, every one you get recertified differently. But here's what I would say:
Yes, sir.
if you were going to have a surgery,
Yes, sir.
if today, God forbid, you were going to have a surgery, would you want to
Right.
have a doctor who hasn't gone through any type of credentialing in the last year? Like, think
Right.
about medicine, how quickly medicine changes.
Change. Right.
Doctors have to continually keep up their continuing education credit hours. Why?
Right.
To maintain a certain level of knowledge. I wouldn't want to have a doctor operating on me if they haven't, read the literature in 10
For a
years, or
couple of
even for
years.
2 years,
Right.
even
Right.
2 years, because it changes so fast. So, to me, it's like, why not? Like,
Right.
what's the
Absolutely.
downside?
Right.
So I think a lot of it, honestly, is that it's a change in mindset. But I think today, in today's society, this has really become the mainstay. If you think about it, as a society, we have standards and certification for everything from the restaurant you go to make sure it has meets certain health
Right.
standards, to
Absolutely.
your attorney, to your accountant, to everybody. I mean, everybody has to. So I believe in the pharmaceutical industry, we need standards for individuals.
Oh,
No
that's
different.
fantastic. Thank you. Thank you. So in terms of, like your work has been just mostly like optimizing the the performance and outcome in the life science companies. So do you have any examples that of your solutions providing this like the benefits into the company, like into the industry as a whole?
Yeah, I mean, we had one company that implemented one of our solutions. They had a few hundred people, and they
Mm-hmm.
saw huge improvements, for
Mm-hmm.
example, in the competencies of the
Mm-hmm.
individuals and them meeting the key performance indicators for their
Okay.
company. In
Okay.
another situation, the company saved a tremendous amount of money
Mm-hmm.
because it was the market access side. They calculated
Okay.
millions of dollars a year just in
Mm-hmm.
being able to streamline access for patients' medication. So, I mean, we have a ton of examples because our organization, the ACMA, we work with over 200 companies, 200 pharmaceutical companies, pharma, biotech, diagnostics, devices. We work with
Right.
all of them. So we have a lot of examples. And you have to remember, before our existence, there was no accrediting body in the life sciences. We were the
Right.
first.
Amazing, boss. Amazing. Yes,
Thank you.
sir.
Yeah, I mean, I'm definitely, we're proud of that. It's something
Yes,
to be
sir.
proud of. It's a
Yes.
good thing. It's a good
Absolutely.
thing for our industry.
Absolutely. So, sir, you have published many, many, articles, like from cardiovascular diseases to weight management. I know you have a background in biochemistry. What other things that brought that inspiration to writing these articles?
Okay, you're going way back. Yeah, so those articles that you're referring to, those are
Yes.
articles that I published when I worked in the pharmaceutical industry as a medical director, head of medical affairs, or
Right.
so in those situations, those articles were, the inspiration really was that I was working on those molecules or those products,
Okay.
and we were studying them. The example of weight loss at the time, I was with a company called Azai Pharmaceuticals, Japanese
Okay.
pharmaceutical company. That we were they had a headquarter in the U.S. and I
Hmm.
was heading up on the medical side the work that they were doing in obesity. They had an obesity product, and it was
Right.
a very interesting area. Obesity is a very fascinating area. I learned a lot about obesity and obesity data and that whole community of
Hmm.
doctors and patients, and
Right.
because we looked at the effect of pharmacological intervention for
Right.
obesity as well as surgical intervention and things like that.
Right.
And obesity, similar, I would say, to COPD, chronic obstructive pulmonary disease, there's a little bit of a stigma. There's a kind of a negative stigma if you have it. Like if you have COPD or a smoker, you deserve it, which of course
Right.
is not true. Or
Hmm.
if you're obese, it's
Hmm.
a lifestyle issue.
Hmm.
But you come to understand that while lifestyle certainly plays a role in the case of obesity, there are many genetic factors that also play an important role. Your family history, which is your genetics,
Right.
but your lifestyle, yes, plays a role as well. So, sometimes people need help with things like that. And,
Right.
I see that in my own family. So I have six uncles on my mother's side. All of them are obese. All
Hmm.
of them had to do gastric bypass surgery.
Hmm.
And the surgeries are, they're not successful 100% of the time. Many of my uncles
Right.
regained the weight.
Right.
So there's a lifestyle component. Pharmacotherapy and surgical interventions can only do so much for
Right.
obesity, but there's a lifestyle component. And this is why, I mean, I'm not, there's some things that Andrew Tate says that I like, some things that Andrew
Hmm.
Tate says that I don't like. But
Right.
one of the things that he says that I really like is I really like when he talks about taking care of yourself physically.
Right.
I think that's important. He's right. I mean, if you want to be successful, taking care of your body physically is key. Um,
Absolutely.
it's a mindset because it
Hmm.
gives you that discipline. So that's
Right.
one of the things that I think that he talks about that I really like a lot. I think young men and women can really learn a lot from this idea of success is related to how you take care of not just your professional life, but your body. It shows a level of discipline.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And um, you'll be amazed, by what it can do, for instance, also in your psyche, like a lot of times, this
Absolutely.
depression and all this, there's so many benefits, we can mention about them so much, and but let's talk a little bit about yourself again, about running, like a successful career and also having a family. And so how do you manage the time, like your time and the priorities as a father?
Yeah. So what I believe, we always hear this idea of work-life balance, like you got to be
Right.
balanced all the time, and that's just
Right.
not true. The truth
Hmm.
is that some days I put in more time into work, some days I put more time into my family.
Hmm.
I think the main thing is to be present. What I do with my children personally
Hmm.
is I make it a point every night. If I'm home, if I'm not traveling, every night we all got to get together as a family. Sometimes when you live, in a big house, everybody's in their own room, they're doing their own
Right.
thing. You
Right.
got to make the effort to say, "Hey guys, I want everybody to come down, and we
Hmm.
all got to get together and we talk."
Hmm.
So
Right.
we'll do different things. And I think that is very important as a family to talk about what's happening in the world and what's your family's take, what's our family's take on what's happening in the world.
Right.
We often do a Bible study a few times a week where we'll
Hmm.
read the Word of God, and that's I
Right.
think really important too. I
Hmm.
think one of the ways, if you want to be a good father, One of the things I would highly recommend for any father, any parent, I mean, I would say it was for mothers as well, but for
Right.
fathers in particular,
Right.
is really make sure your children know that one, you love them. They need
Right.
to know, they need to hear that. I
Mm-hmm.
know it sounds like, oh, well, of course my kids know I love them, but no, showing them that love, showing them that care. A lot of times for me with my children, well, like I have now my two boys are older. They're 20 and 18, but I'll put my arm around them. I'll kind of give them a kiss. They still
Mm-hmm.
need that. I'm a
Mm-hmm.
big believer of that you've got to be affectionate with your children.
Mm-hmm.
And you've got to, sometimes with my kids, I'll play football or soccer, doing activities with them, and then
Mm-hmm.
talking to them, saying, "Hey guys, what's going on? Tell me what's happening in your life," and really just getting to understand, what's going well, what's not. So just making the time, really, and putting that effort in. But discipline is also very important. I think discipline is very key to raising good children and having a good relationship. I'm an old school guy. I believe that you have to respect your father, you have to respect your mother.
Right.
Again, being part of our faith, honor your father and mother.
Right.
So for me, for example, I've never raised my voice to my father. I never cursed at my father. I never
Right.
spoke ill of my father or my mother.
Right.
That's just not tolerated. So I raise
Right.
my kids the same way. They can talk and share their feelings as long as it's done respectfully, but we
Right.
don't tolerate any disrespect to myself or my wife in the home. I think that's important because I think when the kids get bigger, when they become adults, I think they respect that and
Right.
they'll grow up and say, my father, just like I said,
Right.
but a lot of times I see parents, the kids talk to their parents like they're talking to their friends.
Ah.
You know, I had a
Right.
situation I remember where I saw a kid, in America. I don't know how this is in Tanzania, but they gave the finger to the mother. I
Oh.
mean, they put up their middle finger, like
Right. Right.
basically
Right.
saying "f you" to the
Right.
mother. And
Right.
it's like, I mean, I couldn't believe that the
Right.
mother, didn't
Tolerated.
do
Right.
anything about it. I mean,
Right.
to me, and somebody told me this once, and I believe it.
Mm-hmm.
If you can't discipline your children when they're 3, 2, 4, you're not going to discipline them when they're 15, when they're
Great.
6. They're just not going to listen.
Right. Right. Oh man, that's a challenge though, because a lot of times I guess you have to have a balance, I believe. In my belief, you have to have a balance because when you're being too hard, they end up probably like being on the other side. But keep keep being persistent, because you don't want to get in trouble, because a lot of times nowadays they can call 911. By the way, yeah, you have to remember that.
Well, I never said to hit your, I never said to hit your kids,
No,
but
no,
I never said that. But yes, yeah, you're right. In America, especially, that's
right,
become more common.
right,
And that's why I said you got the balance. I think that you're talking about today, man,
right,
is the
right,
affection. I
right,
think they've got to know you love. Because here's the thing. Think about it.
right.
Think about when you were in school.
Hmm.
The teachers that were the best teachers, they were hard on you, but you
Hmm.
knew they cared about you. Because
Right.
if I know you care about me,
Hmm.
even if you're hard on me, I'll listen. Because I know
Right.
you mean well for me. See,
Right.
that's what I'm saying. That's important,
Hmm.
right? But if I don't think you'll care about me or love me, then I'm not going to listen to you. It's a so it's common to me. That's common sense. So you've got to be able to dispense, kind of that balance between dispensing love and
Hmm.
care and when it's when it's needed, and then when
Right.
it's also needed, the
Right.
discipline and to make sure you're guiding them correctly because they're young and they need that. By the
Right.
way, they need that. They yearn for that. I'm a big believer that children love structure and
Hmm.
routine, and they
Right.
need that guidance because they don't know. I sometimes, I hear these stories a lot of times online. I'm not going to get into that topic, but
Right.
where parents let their kids do a lot of crazy things
Hmm.
because the kid feels a certain way. I
Right.
mean, I'm totally against that because
Hmm.
listen, my daughter is 10 years old. She still believes in the tooth fairy.
Hmm.
So her understanding is limited. She
Right.
needs guidance.
Hmm. Absolutely, my friend. Oh, yeah, you're right. We'll stay away from that topic, and but definitely we should definitely make sure that our kids have a utmost respect to the parents because like you say, they will thank us later, and also it's good for them to have the structure and respect, because if you don't do that, it's just you're just gonna lose your kid. I mean, the ending is just gonna be not so good. My friend,
No.
what about yes, sir. What about the these companies? I know that you have invested in in several life science industry. What advice do you have for aspiring entrepreneurs that they would like to maybe venture into that?
Yeah, it's a great question. I would say the first thing is really look for what are the areas of unmet need now in the
Hmm.
population and society. What do people need?
Okay.
One, two.
Hmm.
This is a niche area? Is meaning is it an area that there's not many competitors? If there's too much competition in the area, that makes it more difficult.
Right.
And then really analyze what do you need to be successful? What team members, what resources do you need? How much time do you think it'll take for you to get the ROI, return on your investment, or break even? I
Right.
think, at a high level, of course, we can go into a lot of detail. We don't have time for that. But at a
Right.
high level, that's what it is. And the last thing I would say is don't give up. You got to be persistent.
Hmm.
Persistence is key, and not giving up, believing, and all these things that you always hear about, but we
Right.
don't execute and do. So again, we know it intellectually, but we
Right.
don't always
The-
manifest it or execute it in life.
right. Right. Oh man. So do you really have time to do any to work on your creative pursuits? Given you being the TV personality and the author, professional at in all this great field that you have, do you have
Yes.
time to? Yeah.
I don't know if you knew this,
Hmm.
which is why you're asking. I'm not sure because you sound like you did
Right.
your research, so I appreciate it. But I actually was a professional musician. And again, being from Egypt, I played Middle Eastern music. So
Right.
if you look behind me here, actually you can't see in the camera, but I have my
Drums.
drums back here, and I
There
have
you
a
go. I can
this
see
is
a
this is a
part of the
flute.
drum.
Now
Right.
this is a flute, but it's not like a traditional flute, like a Western flute. In Arabic, it's called a ney.
Nay. Okay.
And this is it's actually an instrument that's 5,000 years old. You can see there's no mouthpiece on it. It's very difficult to
Right.
play actually. So I've
Right.
been playing this instrument too. It's an instrument that I picked up, but just so you can see what it sounds like.
Please. Please.
So that's a little
Right,
Egyptian
man.
piece. But
That's
so
beautiful.
I that that's what I do to relieve my stress sometimes is I play music. I play
Nice.
drums as well. So yeah, it's
Nice.
just something that I do for fun.
I love the culture, by the way. Like a little personal story. My wife is Maghribi. Is from the
Oh,
from
Moroccan, nice.
yes, yes. So I'm familiar with the tradition.
Yes.
Amazing, amazing, my friend. Thank you, sir.
Yes, of course. We love the Moroccan people, yeah.
Yes, yes. No, now this helps you a little bit. Like you said, in terms of the this the stress management and such. But there's no relationship with your work at all, of course, right?
Listen, it's very important. I think to have
Yeah.
an outlet. I mean, for
Right.
me, I play instruments and I learn different things creatively just with music. That's for me. But I think if you're out there listening,
Yeah.
finding that for yourself is really important.
Thank you, thank you. And so far from your journey, in your professional life, your social life, what what information would you like to pass on to the kids or future generations in terms of the principles?
I would say, in terms of principles, I'm trying to think. Few principles. I would say the first thing is be honest.
Hmm.
Be honest. Lying, can create a series of problems for you. So honesty is really important. I think and I would even argue it's kind of like a discipline. Lying can become a bad habit. So I would say honesty is very important. So
Okay.
being honest. The second thing is working hard, like we talked about before, having a good work ethic.
Right.
And it starts with things like, making your bed. There's a famous military video of a guy giving a speech, a commencement speech to graduates, talks about the importance of making your bed. I love that speech, but it's so important, right? Why is that important? Because when you get up and you make your bed,
Mm-hmm.
it kind of sets order for your day. And it goes back to like we were talking about with working out and things like that. It's
Right.
discipline. So learning to be disciplined in
Mm-hmm.
everything,
Right.
learning to be honest, work hard, be disciplined.
Mm-hmm.
So not being overly gluttonous with certain things in your life. I think that's really, really important. And showing up on time to
Right.
meetings, showing up on time for events. Why I say showing up on time? Because I think that shows respect. And I think that's really important. And that's really key. I think nowadays we live in a society, and I see this in America especially, a very polarized society, whether it's because of religion, politics, whatever it is.
Right.
And I think, again, going back to what I was saying, we forget the commonalities that we have
Mm-hmm.
as a human race,
Right.
right? And if we remember that, I think
Mm-hmm.
that will help us in many ways to remember kind of our origin and where we came from and what we're trying to do. I deal with many different people. Our company, the ACMA, we have learners in 80 countries all over the world, including in Africa.
Right.
And everybody's, by and large, everybody's trying to do the same thing. They're trying to do better for themselves, better for their family, trying to raise good children,
Right.
trying to contribute to society. Most of us have similar aspirations. And sometimes I see a lot of this hatred
Mm-hmm.
towards different groups of people. And I just feel like that spirit of hatred or that
Right.
spirit of constant judgment and criticism
Right.
it's just not good because none of us are perfect. We all make mistakes. And like I
Absolutely.
said, being encouraging and giving people the benefit of the doubt. I think
Mm-hmm.
that's important. I think that's really, really important.
Thank you.
We're just so quick to judge
Mm-hmm.
others without sometimes even having the full picture. That's happening now with Russell Brand. I don't
Mm-hmm.
know if you're
Right.
following that story. Are you following that story?
No, not really.
Yeah, it's a big story now. Russell Brand here well, he's based in the UK, but in the
Mm-hmm.
US where
Oh yeah.
he
Oh
was
yes. Yes.
he was allegedly, I guess someone said that he committed sexual assault and things like that, like, 10, 15 years ago. And now right away, YouTube demonetized him. I think Facebook and
Oh my
not
God.
Twitter or Rumbler, but anyway, my point is that, you know, maybe he was guilty, and I don't know. Maybe he was guilty, maybe he wasn't. But my point is, we're very quick to judge the person, very, very, very fast,
Mm-hmm.
and I think that's could be a little premature. We have to be careful. So
Mm-hmm.
we've become a society that's very harsh,
Mm.
grown very
Thank you for
cold.
thank you for sharing that because so the reason why also I started also doing this project I was saying like even if we're polarized if we don't speak about it we we make that cultivate become even worse and what about our kids like we
Yeah.
want them to be in a better place so this is a very good advice to them to really being like accepting and giving people the benefit of the doubt as long as they're not bothering you just live in peace and accept people don't be you know too segregative or whatever the bad notion you might call it
I mean, look, there are definitely things in society that
Mhm.
we need to speak up about.
Right.
Things that we see that are harming our children or harming the
Mhm.
values of society.
Right.
What I'm saying though is I think there's a way to go about it. Even that,
Mhm.
there's a way to go about it in a way that's
Mhm.
productive,
Mhm.
that's still with respect. But a lot of what
Right.
I see on social media lately is just, even with the news, it's like
Mhm.
constantly attacking, complaining, attacking, insulting the other side.
Right. Right.
And you have to wonder, I mean,
Mhm.
is that really a good thing for children to watch? Is it really a good thing
Mhm.
for society as a whole? What are we really
Right.
gaining by doing that? I'm
Right.
not really sure. It seems like a
Thank you.
power play to me.
Right, right. Yeah. It's politics. My dad used to tell me, stay away from politics. And now as I grew up, I heard people adding, religion as well. But like you mentioned, those are the things that people probably take advantage of to polarize folks. So, my friend, what other like I know you're involved with this, with this AI project, with outsourcing solutions and such, you know, how does it contribute the efficiency in the medical care teams? I know this is a little high tech, high
Yeah,
level, but
yeah. As you know, I mean, with ChatGPT and Bard, there's been a big transformation with really a lot of the public now using AI tools. What
absolutely.
we've done at the ACMA is so we have these AI tools that basically really can save companies a tremendous amount of time and money and improve productivity exponentially. What our AI tools do is so basically our MedAffairs AI tool is trained on the largest compendium of data in medical affairs, but it can also be custom trained on the customer's data. So if we're working with a big pharmaceutical company and they want to train, they want to get all their data AI trained so they don't have to search in folders, files, drives, and things like that and waste all that time, we can help do that. We have one for market access and reimbursement. We have a tool for medical information call centers where we leverage AI. So we really can help people to improve productivity significantly. To give you an idea, people spend time during their work week, so much time searching information. Up to the estimates are up to 30% of the work week searching for information, is trying to look for information. And I mean, that's a killer. If you have a big company, that's killing your productivity, and we can help.
Oh, that's fantastic. Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you for sharing that. And so far, this is almost the last question. How do you see the future of healthcare, my friend? You being the, really, as a pioneer into all these great, like great ventures.
Yeah. Well, it depends. I mean, you're in Africa. I think so. There's obviously some nuances that are specific to the United States that
Right.
are different than Europe, than Africa, than the Middle East or whatnot, Asia, South America. They're all different, situations. But as a whole, what I could say to you about healthcare, I think what's emerging is a few things. I think there is going to be a greater intercalation when it comes to therapeutics between drugs, devices, and pharmacogenomics. I think that's going to transform medicine. And I think that's going to take us into a true era of personalized medicine. The second thing that I would say is I think the advent of technology, including AI, is going to really rapidly transform healthcare the world over. I think that the rapid access to information is going to change drug development times and time to market so that we can get drugs out more quickly. We saw what happened with COVID, for example, with the vaccines, how they got out to market quickly. When we needed to do it, we did it. Because the average vaccine can take up to 10 to 15 years. We did this like a year or two. So I think these situations are going to really revolutionize healthcare significantly. So those are the things that come to mind. I think that in the future, we're going to be in situations where a lot of the diseases that we have now that are difficult to deal with they're going to be cured. A good example is a company I used to work for, Gilead Sciences, who developed breakthrough treatments for hepatitis C. Hepatitis C was a big problem. The standard of care was pegylated interferon ribavirin, which only had about a 50% success rate. And then with the development of these new drugs, these new inhibitors, we see a huge improvement in patients with hepatitis C. So that's one example. HIV is another one. It used to be a death sentence. Now it's not. So I think you'll start to see more and more of that, and more of a focus in rare orphan disease spaces as well, as we get more knowledge in what's happening on the pharmacogenomic side or the genomic side.
Oh, that's fantastic. Thank you for sharing that. And we hope to live to see it, or at least our seeds they get to benefit. Like our
Absolutely.
kids get to benefit this. So this is one of the question. One of my guests here was Dr. Piper Gibson. She shared that what can we do? What can ladies do as mothers to support us as fathers? Because a lot of times like we need help. Sometimes it's hard for us to say. So, do you have any idea how can they, how can our wives do to make us better as
That's a great
fathers?
question. That's a great question. I would say your children are watching. So when your children see the mother respect the father, they're going to respect the father. When the children see that the husband loves the mother and shows care and love and
Right.
adores the mother, there's going to be a model for them. So I would say, as a wife, that one of the biggest things you can do is really respect your husband and show that admiration in front of your children. That will make a huge difference in the child's life. There's so many studies, in psychology. I'm not a psychologist, but just in the literature that I've read in clinical psychology, on the
Right.
importance of having a two-parent household, and the importance of having the father present, and the importance of the father being the role model, even when it comes to religious activities. So I think having the mom be that role model to show respect to the father,
Mhm.
I think that's the number one thing.
Thank you so much. And what would you ask another dad in the, like the next guest, as a father? What kind of question would you like to pose to them about
What do you do for fun with teenagers?
that's?
That's
Thank you.
that's what I'm struggling with. Sometimes
Okay.
with my older teenage boys, it's like,
Mhm.
there's not as much in common in terms of what they want to do. So
Right.
anyway,
I appreciate that. Thanks so much. So how can folks find you, boss?
so people can reach out to me on LinkedIn. I have a profile there. I Will Solomon on TikTok and on Instagram.
Okay.
Those are my handles, so they can find me there.
Okay.
But I'm pretty much readily available on all the social media: Instagram, TikTok, LinkedIn. Those are the main platforms I'm on.
Thank you so much. We're really, honored for you to be here today. Thank you so much for sharing all, like this great wisdom, and we hope you'll definitely make a difference to the world of fathers. And folks can really get more information on this and many others, from dadpuzzles.com, and we also have all the social media handles from the website itself. So thank you again for listening to us today. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you for having me. Have a great day.